I'm Dr. Leon Stutzman, aka Doc, with another one of these little videos designed to help you to get through these strange days in which we find ourselves. And these are strange days indeed. I was inspired. A friend of mine, adjunct professor at University of Dayton and the University of Miami, gave me this plexiglass ruler for Christmas that says, rule the world. Now, that may be a little ambitious, ruling the world, but you can rule your world. In fact, you should rule your world. How do you rule in your world? By inspiration. There is a verse of scripture in the book of Job that said there's a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty gives them understanding. How do you live an inspired life, particularly in these strange days in which we find ourselves, days in which many people are struggling and depressed because things are just not the way they ought to be? How do you live an inspired life? Let me tell you a story. I was driving down the road, minding my own business, listening to NPR when they broadcast an article that said the great state of Ohio was going to go into partnership with religious entities to improve their communities. I thought, that's interesting. They're providing grant money. It happened that we have a woman in our church that was doing mentoring, and I called her up and I said, this is what I heard on NPR. Shall we follow through with this? Would you like to do something? She said, absolutely. And out of that, we founded a mentoring program, and it went great guns for 3 years. Grant money came in. We were affecting young women's lives, changing families. Then the grant money ran out, but the inspiration remained. And I said, why don't you start a daycare? And so she took those same children and started a daycare that has become a 5-star daycare, which is top rated in the state of Ohio. And as a result of that, she has prospered, the church has prospered, and those little lives have prospered because they're under an environment where they're learning some things that will help them through the rest of their lives. It all came through inspiration. How does inspiration come? Let me suggest 3 things. The first is learning. I was learning as I was listening to NPR. I was learning because I believe that we're in the school of lifelong learning. I don't think that you ever come to a point in your life where you can say, well, I've learned everything that I need to learn. No, the world is constantly changing, so we have to be constantly learning. Secondly, I was looking for inspiration. I'm always looking for inspiration. I look for inspiration everywhere. I look for inspiration in movies. I remember taking a group of ministers to a movie one day. We had an off day. We went to this movie. It was called Time Bandits, and I thought it was fabulous. At the end of the movie, we walked out. They said, that was the stupidest movie we've ever seen. Every one of us said, that was the stupidest movie. I said, man, that was absolutely great. That was spiritual. And then I started opening up the movie to them, and they're like, what? Yeah, that was there all the time, but they didn't see it because they weren't looking for it. You have to look for inspiration everywhere. And the truth is, inspiration is everywhere. I find it in the pages of the Bible. I find it in great books. I find it when I'm listening to radio. I find it when I'm listening to music. There's inspiration everywhere. I find inspiration in other people's lives. There's inspiration everywhere if you are looking. And then lastly, you have to be listening. Now, I don't mean listening like I was listening to NPR, because I'm always listening to NPR or listening to classical music or listening to something on the radio when I'm driving down the road. No, I'm talking about listening with your inner ear. There's a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty gives them understanding. I want you to learn. I want you to look. I want you to listen. Most of all, I want you to live an inspired life, because an inspired life will enable you to rule your world. This Sunday at Aspire Church, it is going to be powerful. I have a word. Have you ever got a gift and you said, when you got the gift, what? You gave me what? That's the message this Sunday. You gave me what? That can be good, that can be bad. This Sunday, we're going to find some things out about the gift that God gives. Powerful stuff. It'll change your life. You can catch it on the live stream at aspirechurch.tv. That's live stream aspirechurch.tv, or on Facebook at Aspire Church TV. Facebook Aspire Church TV, live stream aspirechurch.tv. Sunday morning, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It will be powerful. Then mark it on your calendar, New Year's Eve, December 31st, 6 p.m., our annual New Year's Eve Miracle Blessing Service. I'll tell you more about that. It is going to be absolutely powerful, and it will set you up for 2021. I'm Dr. Leon Stutzman, aka Doc. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you Sunday, and I'll be back next week with a new set of videos.